Alright, I thought I'd continue on with this yoga intro. So, last time, 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. Yama, which is your external view on the world. Niyama, your internal view of the self. Asana, the positions. Pranayama, breath control. Pratyahara, withdrawing yourself from the external environment or external distractions. Dharana, focusing in on concentration. Dhyana, which is true meditation, or more unbroken concentration. And then Samadhi, what all these then result in a little bliss or enlightenment. So we'll go to the yamas. The yamas are those external views in the world, your morals, ethics, however you would like to do that, the things that keep you a good person and keep everyone a good person. So in the yamas, we'll talk about 5 of them. And we'll do the same thing as the just 8 limbs. I'll do 1 now with this video, and later on I'll do the rest of them. So, Yama. There is Ahimsa. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. Brahmacharya. Let me make sure that's actually correct there. Brahmacharya. Yeah, Brahmacharya. Okay, so little brief intro to each of them. Ahimsa is non-violence, non-harming. Satya is truthfulness, honesty. Asteya is non-stealing, but not just physical objects, but we'll explain more later. Brahmacharya, and please excuse this is just a translation of it. Don't take this word that I'm going to use too seriously. Brahmacharya is walking with God, not walking with God, walking like God, sorry. And Aparigraha is non-hoarding, non-coveting, or non-attachment. So I'm going to go briefly a little deeper into Ahimsa here. Ahimsa being non-violence, non-harming, so obviously this means not killing people or not hurting people, but that kind of speaks for itself. But the real, we'll go, it also, this is the Yama that brings up the whole vegetarianism thing with yoga and all that. Myself, I'm not a vegetarian. I definitely don't eat meat a lot, but I'm not going to not eat meat. It's hard to explain. I don't feel the eating of meat is really going against the Ahimsa. I try to not eat meat that is produced in a harmful way or things like this. Like I rarely I eat sushi, I guess, at restaurants, but other than that, I don't really eat much out in restaurants, and don't eat much out in restaurants that serve meat, or not that serve meat, but I don't really order meat much in restaurants unless it's tacos or something. But we'll discuss tacos maybe at a later date. So yeah, vegetarianism is great and all and fine. But you also have to not just be a vegetarian because you think that's the thing to do. You got to remember to keep healthy, for one thing. And I see, not a lot, but you do see vegetarians every now and then, I don't know, surviving on chips and salsa, that's ridiculous. If you can't survive, take care of yourself by not eating meat, perhaps you should maybe start eating meat and realize that your body, you need a healthy healthy body to still be able to function, even if it means you're going to eat a chicken. But, okay, I'm not here to talk about vegetarianism, but Ahimsa, non-violence, non-hurting. So, obviously, don't want to go out and kill people. You don't want to go out and physically harm them and do things like this. But more the subtleness of Ahimsa is not speaking ill words against somebody or thinking it even. You're harming the person with your ill words, and this can hurt maybe more than physical pain. This silly little saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Fortunately, words hurt quite a bit. So do sticks and stones, but you could really put someone in a dark place by what you say. So Himsa comes into this quite a bit, and you have to watch yourself and what you say. If you're projecting all these negative things towards somebody, it's that person is going to see possibly the negative in themselves, even if it's not really there. And yourself, you're going to project your negativity so much into the world that you're going to see it more often. And then you'll say negative things more, because look, oh, now I see it every day. Look, there's negative, there's negative, there's negative. So what Himsa is trying to make you do, besides not physically harm things, and that's harm not just people, but it is harming animals too. Like maybe next time you see a little bug that's crawling into your house, don't go up and smash that thing, but take him out of your house. It's not really his problem. It's not his fault that he came into your house. The insect's just there. Like, just be kind to him. But back to the words. The Himsa is more, it's wanting you to express love more. Like, if somebody cuts you off, oh, here, I'll tell you a good story. A friend of mine was cut off in a parking lot and all this, and person was very aggressive, took their space that they were waiting for, and like stared them down, gave them hate eyes. But after all that, friend didn't mind, whatever. It's a parking lot in America, there's going to be another space. So she just went to another space, but she noticed that person that took her spot, or took the other spot, left her purse on top of her car. So she went and grabbed the purse and started bringing it back to the person. And she said you could see in this person's eyes that she was ready for a conflict, ready for an argument. And all my friend did was hand her her purse and say, "Oh, you left this purse on your car. Don't want you to forget it." And she left and went on her way. But imagine what this positive action for the rest of that day probably changed that person's attitude. Because now this person has seen a positive action, so she's going to be thinking of positive things more and possibly trying to be more positive herself, because she saw that she was probably pretty aggressive, and she probably knew that. And then out of all that aggression, still the person was nice to him. It's going to change someone's way of thinking. So getting at, show a bit of kindness, show a bit of love, and that's practicing Ahimsa also. And even in your thoughts, try not to even think of these bad things. If you can control yourself by not saying them, that's one thing. But then if you can control your thoughts also, not saying these bad objections towards society or towards a single person or towards your neighbor or whatever, it helps. And it helps you, which is what we'll get into now. Ahimsa also means not harming yourself. Of course, not physically, not harming yourself. So when you are practicing the asanas or any exercise, not pushing yourself to a limit of I can take this pain, and then it's going to snap, and you're going to hurt yourself. So you need to practice the Ahimsa in the exercise also to push yourself, to know where you can push yourself, but listen to your body telling you that it's okay to go here, But don't go any further or you're going to cause major problems, and all this exercise you're doing is going to be for naught. So Ahimsa is also reflecting back on you to not harm yourself. And you can go deep into this and go into the foods and don't eat crap food all the time, because that is going to harm you. So just take care of your body and don't harm it. And you can do that with the things you watch or with the things you read. If something bothers you, maybe you should stop doing it and not harm yourself further. But it also goes to your thoughts. If you're thinking these negative things all the time about people, you're training yourself to see them, and eventually you're going to see them all the time, because this is what you've trained your mind to see. Like, oh, that type of hairstyle means this person's a dirty hippie, and so on. Not that dirty hippie is quite the most negative thing to say, but you get my drift. And it also, you can't be negative towards yourself in like the way, let's find an example here. Like, oh, you come to a theater and your seat is taken, and you're like, oh, always me, my seat is gone again, this always happens to me. Well, most likely it's probably because you're actually running late and you're not being truthful to yourself about your tardiness, but truthfulness will come later. But it's if you keep telling yourself these things, why me, it's always me, oh, of course that happened, these you're going to see these more often. You're training yourself to see the negative. So Ahimsa wants you to train yourself to not only be positive, but to see the positive. So when you're happy, tell yourself you're happy. This is a thing I don't think many people do, and it does help. I myself have troubles reminding myself that, oh, in this moment I was happy. I try to. And eventually you'll train yourself to see the positive. It's like, oh, I was happy then. I was happy then too. And then eventually these negative things will drift way deep down, maybe come up once in a while here and there, but there's so much positive in your life that one little negative thing isn't going to interrupt all this positive. It's like, oh man, woke up from this great sleep, I feel all rested. Ah, that's so nice. Or maybe if you're not rested in the morning, be like, well, at least I had a bed to go into, and so on and so on. Just tell yourself little positive things throughout the day. And this is practicing Ahimsa for yourself and training yourself to be aware of your happiness. It's a difficult thing, but try it out. So Ahimsa, non-harming, non-violence.